Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle Show. First up, we check out the 2024 winners of Steam Your Dreams Ocean Bowl games at Baltimore's Harlem Park Recreation Center. Then it's time for Spotlight DMV with the episode Crowned with Purpose, featuring 2025 Miss Maryland winner, Moniesha Shorter, sharing her Prince George's County pride. Simply Bowie Magazine shares tips on figuring out your long-term goals. Next, it's part 3 of the 90-degree haircut journey with G. Marie. Then, Homes of Color shows off some of the wildest designs from day one of the Las Vegas home design market. And finally, producer Paula opens up about rediscovering herself after retiring from the armed forces. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle Show.
The champs are here. Congratulations, Harlem Park, for another wonderful Ocean Bowl games. The Alaskan Salmon Sharks were the big surprise. But look, you can be down at the bottom, but as long as you have tenacity and perseverance, you can win. Let's talk to Harlem Park. Hey, hold the mic up, y'all.
He let the game come to him. When they went down, when they were in the playoffs, they went down, he looked up at me and I was like, calm down, you got this. No need to panic, no need. That's when he stepped up. He stepped up and he got them to step up. And that's why I named him MVP.
All the record ears, please pull up to the front. You're gonna intro your own team, your champions, coming back to back.
Hey, we doing this like the Kansas City Chiefs. Back to back. Back to back.
What's up?
My name is Nigel Parents, the MVP of Ocean Bowl.
My name is Cameron Morris.
My name is Syer Grimes.
Y'all deserve it.
You got all of you said it right in front of
No,
Yeah, you said it right in front.
you. Said right in front of
right in front of me.
Really?
Yeah.
You weren't even here last year. Chill out.
It doesn't even matter.
Chill out.
It doesn't even
You
matter.
weren't even here last year. Chill out.
Okay, all right, back. Let's go.
I felt about Thursday. I felt like we was out of the league. I told Mr. Lucky, I said, I feel like I'm ready to lose. Then he told me, I feel like too. And then I kept talking to my team. I was like, we need some more points on the board. And then that's when Friday, Miss Erica gave us a chance. I was so happy. And then we got the opportunity to win the Ocean Bowl game. I was very nervous when we were playing the Ocean Bowl clash because I thought that girl was very nice at it.
And we played against the Alaskan Salmon Sharks. And I had a problem with that. I really did because I didn't think we should have been playing against each other. Two teams that were from the same rec playing against each other, but that's the way the cookie crumbled, and we went on to do what we supposed to do.
Experience from last year to this year, I felt like we had more fun last year than this year, and we had lots of more activities this year. And last year only took 1 day, and then this year took 2 days. And then I was very confused on that, and then I said, I know we had a lot to do.
We at the bottom. Then we just locked in to this one game, and it got us up, and we just started trying.
Was that Scuba Tech too?
Yeah. And beach balling. We went against these two kids who did not know how to play. Then instantly they started beating us. I'm like, whoa. And the first match, we won. We thought it didn't count, so we had to run it back, and that's when they won. But then we found out, the first match actually did count. Yeah. So we were so happy, and then that's when when we lost, Nacho was like, chill out. I was like,
how did y'all do with the questions part? Round 2, the questions popped up the game for power-ups.
The question part was not hard because like we mostly know the questions and we
How did you know most of the questions?
Because simple math and some of the questions was like ocean based on ocean stuff, and I'm mostly into like aquatic stuff.
We had our books, we crammed, because I heard somebody saying, oh, look, Harlem Park's cramming. They may not be ready this year. Nope. We took our time. We got everything together. And I made sure, look, y'all got to learn this stuff. Because if with egg on our face, all the stuff we've been talking all summer long about how we want to go back to back, if we don't win, we're going to have egg on our face, and everybody going to look at us and laugh at us.
I think the questions was a little easy because like most of the questions came out the book.
I like the fact that it was 2 days. You didn't have to cram everything into one day. And I actually liked the venue. I didn't like all the walking up the steps, but of course. I love the venue. I thought it was nice. And hopefully we can have it there again next year.
It was our last year, and like doing summer camp and Ocean Bowl. I was kind of sad about it, but you still got to move on with life.
Right. Why? Because you turning how old?
Next year I'm turning 14.
They'll all age out this year.
Because we go to 14.
Yep.
But do y'all want to come still help out?
yes.
So I like the stations. I like how they had each the math, engineering. I wish it was a little bit more spaced out because it was kind of all crammed together, especially on the second floor. That was a little crammed together, but I did like how y'all did have different sections for each so they can see science, math, technology, art, and all parts of STEAM.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
This was my first time going to the Ocean Bowl thing. I think it was really good. I like seeing how you guys focus on biodiversity and just marine biology to begin with, or just the beginning parts of it. I think it's really good for children to learn about the ecosystem, especially when it concerns, Baltimore.
I want to give it up to the 2024 Ocean Bowl Games Baltimore champions. Y'all give yourselves a hand. As we move up the card over here, as an additional prize, we want to make sure that the rec center can now be ready for when Steam Your Dreams comes and we have programming. We need to have a TV instead of a projector. There we go. We got to stand when we put the TV on. We got a little power cord. Those are the things we got to do with Steam Your Dreams to work with our guy Lucky, who did
Back to back. And next year it's back to back to back.
Wow. Let's go, y'all. Steam Your Dreams. When I say Steam, you say Dream. Steam Your
Dreams.
Let's go.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Spotlight DMV, where we are amplifying all of the community movers and shakers and those that are shaping our community right here in Prince George's County and the DMV. I have a very special guest with me today, but before we get to our guest, I want to give a big shout out to Mixed Food Hall for being our space sponsor for this episode. Thank you for allowing a space for us to have these conversations and to shine a light all over our community. So let's dive right into who is with me today. I am with Moniesha Shorter, recently crowned Mrs. Maryland of 2025. That was in February, right?
Yes, so it's United States of America, Mrs. Maryland. So the DMV pageant was on February 21st.
Okay, so that's USOA, Mrs. Maryland 2025.
That's right.
And Moniesha is also a 3-time breast cancer survivor.
I am.
A health tech professional and a fierce advocate for women's health. And yes, she is repping Prince George's County all the way to the national stage in Las Vegas. Welcome, Moniesha. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so we kind of just jumped into it earlier, but you were talking about growing up in DC until a certain point and then you moved to Prince George's County. Tell us about that, your background.
I was born in the District of Columbia. It was just during a really different time. Like, it looks very different now. But I had a really normal, what I think is a normal sort of nuclear family childhood. Growing up in DC, I went to, I think I was telling you, not far from here, I went to St. Francis de Sales, and then I went to John Burroughs, and then when my parents got separated, my mom and I moved to Prince George's County. So I've lived in Prince George's County pretty much my whole life. I've done some travel, and I've lived abroad, for work, but Prince George's County is home. So I went to William Wirt Middle School, I went to Eleanor Roosevelt High School, and ultimately to the University of Maryland. So I'm a proud Terp.
Yes, go Terps.
So I am as local as I come. I know a lot of people move to Maryland, and a lot of people, it's very much like a transplant city. They come here to work, or they come here to go to school, and they end up staying. But yeah, Prince George's County is home.
Yeah, and I love that about you, because same for me. I grew up here and went to the University of Maryland. I just cannot leave the area.
It's a really unique place, I think, because having the opportunity to travel and go other places, even in the United States, like Black people do not live the way we live. I mean, we just have access to so many resources, opportunities. There's so much culture here. And so I'm really proud to be a part of this community. Like I rep PG. Like people talk about, other areas, and I think they're all great in their own right. But I do think this is a very unique place.
Yeah. Certainly privileged to have grown up here and to see the Black excellence, the success here. Yeah. So I know when we first had a conversation, you had to school me on the pageant world. You know?
I'm learning on a curve. I'm figuring it out just like you.
So let's talk about that, about how you got into the pageant, into the United States of America pageant.
Yeah. So I did not know anything about pageants. I'd never been in one. And actually, Mrs. Virginia, her name is Dr. Ingrid Bynum. She is a Maryland alum as well. And we were at an event just talking, just like you and I were talking. And she was, in her get up. And she said, I really think that you should consider running for Mrs. Maryland. And I just said, that's, I thought that was just an interesting thing. And we did exchange information, but I never really seriously, gave it a thought. So she started talking to me about it. And I started, really inquiring. And she talked a lot about the fact that the platform, right, of competing really gives you an opportunity to focus on the missions and causes that matter to you. And so when she had heard about my story and breast cancer, she says, oh, no, you should run for Mrs. Maryland and you would win. That's exactly what she said to me. And so I was actually preparing for another pageant, and that pageant got postponed. So I happened to run into her in January. And she says, I'm going to do the USOA pageant, and I think you should do it, and you're going to win. That's what she said. She said,
well, so you were preparing for another pageant after you had initially spoken to her?
After I spoken to her. So it was a different system. So there is Mrs. America, Maryland. There is Miss USA. And in that system, Miss USA competes for Miss Universe. And then there's the United States of America. So there are 3 different systems, 3 different pageants. But I do think, in retrospect, it might have been, this might have been sort of serendipitous in the sense that USOA's motto is empower, inspire, and uplift. And I really, so when I think about my healthcare journey and really why I wanted to do it, it really was to share my story in an intentional way and really empower women to take better actions for their health, to really understand their risks, and hopefully never, have the challenges that I've had, this 9 years now with breast cancer.
So you were preparing for the pageant, for the one that got canceled, and then you ended up registering for...
Ended up competing. So the pageant was less than 4 weeks from that time. I had seen her 4 or 5 weeks from that time. And I'm thinking to myself, well, am I going to be ready? Can I actually do this? And I did have a pageant coach. And I asked her, I said, honestly, what do you think, I don't want to make a complete fool of myself, you
Yeah.
know? And so we worked really hard that 5 weeks, and she prepared me. And so I entered my first pageant and won my very first pageant.
Wow, that is so amazing. So take us through some of what that journey was like,
Yeah.
preparing with your coach and making sure that, you know, you were ready to get on stage. Because I know some of what you and I had talked about was some preconceived notions before
Yes.
you got involved.
Very much so. Because I think people think pageantry is all pomp and circumstance, and it is that. Let's be clear. Like, I mean, those gowns, and you know, there's another category called patriotic costume, and some of these costumes are like incredibly elaborate with like feathers and stars and all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think pageants they're brands, right? And so what they look for are ambassadors, right? Somebody who can represent that brand, somebody who's relatable, someone who women can look at and say, okay, I understand that. And so I do think it's more than just being a pretty face. I think it's more than just, sort of pose and posture. I do think they care about your story.
Yeah.
And I think mine is a unique one. And I think some of the things that I have discovered along the way in my journey sort of really lent itself to this, because I started out honestly just being really upset. Like, how did this happen? What is going on? And really just on this personal journey of discovery to try to figure out how is it possible that I got breast cancer 3 times.
Yeah.
I've never been sick a day in my life. And just imagine like going to a doctor, right? And you get this diagnosis and you're not prepared for it because there was no science at the time that would have predicted my diagnosis because I didn't have any history of breast cancer. I just tested negative for what they call the breast cancer gene, so the BRCA mutation. I didn't have it. So it was really kind of like, well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And they didn't have a lot of answers for me. And so yeah.
Go ahead.
So it was like during this process of discovery, like really understanding that the science really doesn't include us in a lot of, like clinical research and also genetic research. And so after 9 years, I still don't have a lot of answers. I know a lot more than I did when I started, but I still don't have a lot of answers as to how I actually got it.
So that is your platform because, we're kind of touching on your breast cancer diagnosis, and not just your breast cancer diagnosis, but being diagnosed 3 times.
3 separate times.
Yes.
Yeah.
So talk about that because that plays into
absolutely,
your journey through winning Mrs. Maryland.
Yeah, that really was the thing I think that resonated. It set me apart, and for me, it just made it worthwhile. Like to go through all that we go through, right, to prepare.
Yeah.
And I think being able to tell my story and explain why, like. I mean, you could just, because the judges are not they're supposed to be very impartial, but I could just tell by their expressions, they were just like, what, because most people are, because to look at me, you wouldn't know, right? You wouldn't know. And I think just advocacy and explaining this is how you navigate and how you take ownership really of your health journey, that it's really a partnership. Like you go to a doctor, they're asking you questions. You need to ask them questions too.
Right. So I kind of want to dig into the diagnosis. So let's the first diagnosis. What year was that?
It was 2016, and I was diagnosed stage 0. So it's called DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ, and it just basically means that the disease is still very immature. It hasn't really organized. It's not metastasized. It's in your ducts in your breast. So I was very fortunate because the survival rates for that are very high. Now, what I was not prepared for was the recommendation. The mitigation was a double mastectomy. And I said, whoa. Wow. I said, how did we go from stage 4 to that? And I think my surgeon was concerned that there just might be more disease that we couldn't see because it was very small. It would be, think about like trying to remove grains of sand from Jell-O. That's kind of like what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And so it was the safest option, right? So you think, okay, double mastectomy, you get all the tissue, and that's it. I got diagnosed again.
So you did do
3
the
years
double
later.
mastectomy.
So I did do that.
Hi, my name is Veronica Fountain. I'm the publisher and owner of Simply Bowie Magazine. Today we have a very special guest today, but first of all, before I introduce the guest, I want to let you know that Simply Bowie Magazine circulates through all of Bowie, Upper Marlboro, Largo, Mitchellville area. Very high-end luxury magazine that connects businesses to consumers. And every month I showcase roughly about 2 to 3 guests that will come into the studio with me and highlight their products and services. Bowie, we have some exceptional talent here in Bowie. And today I have an exceptional talent with me today, Mr. Eric Haskins. He is with the Haskins Group, Realty Group. Welcome, Eric. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you for
You're
having
looking
me.
fabulous today.
Oh, I try to. I try.
Good, awesome. How long have you been a realtor?
So it's going on 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 good years.
It seems like when I talk to you, you've been a realtor for like 10, 15, 20 years. You
Yeah, I
just
get that
seem
all
like
the time.
you do hear that. Yeah, because 7 years is still kind of fairly new, but not new. And
Yeah,
when
it
I
could be
listen
rookie
to
numbers.
you talk, it's like you've just been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
What areas do you cover?
Of course, I cover Bowie,
Uh-huh.
Upper Marlboro, Silver Spring area. So I do a lot of PG County.
Okay.
Charles County too as well, because a lot of people move from PG County to Charles
Yes.
County as well.
Uh-huh.
So I do those areas. Those are my main areas. I'm licensed in Virginia
I
and
was
DC.
going to just go to ask you.
Yeah,
So you're
so
licensed Virginia
in the whole
and DC.
DMV area.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, let me ask you, what areas would you like to advance a little bit more into? Earlier, you and I was talking about the growth.
Right.
You know, there's moving into St. Charles County,
Right.
Anne Arundel. What areas would you like to explore a little bit more into?
Honestly, more of PG County, because I think
Okay.
in the coming years they're going to restructure PG County.
Uh-huh.
And some of the towns, even like District Heights, is going to change.
Yes.
Even
maybe Clinton, Maryland.
Clinton,
part,
Temple
yeah.
Hills, those areas. It's
Uh-huh.
going to change in the next 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
And so I'm looking into those areas with, up and coming developers.
Okay.
So I'm in talks with some of them to look at certain different areas that we could tackle. And I'm looking forward to it. So PG County.
Prince George's County,
Yep,
yes. Okay.
Prince George's County.
Uh-huh.
Montgomery County.
Oh, you're looking to expand as well?
expand
to
Montgomery County. I like the Silver Spring, Bethesda area.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to get in more of those areas.
Okay. What about, I'm hearing a lot of homeowners are buying a second property in Delaware or moving down south to North Carolina right now. Have you any inkling of maybe, getting licensed in any other states?
Honestly, if I think about getting a license outside of the DMV area, it may be Florida.
Okay, Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Okay.
One of the reasons, because I have family down there, but secondly, it's because it's changing. Right now it's up and down right now. But Florida is a good market.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got a lot of people retired down there.
Yes, it's the home of retirement
it's
and
a home of
beaches.
retirement. Right. So the turnaround on homes is always consistent.
Pretty good in the state of Florida.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Walk me through some of your products and services. Are you primarily residential and commercial, or both? Or talk to me about a little bit of your products and services.
We really work residential.
Okay.
So home buyers, home sellers, and I'm the type of realtor that still love to work with rental properties. People that's looking for rentals.
Yeah.
Because I tell people all the time, usually my best clients are the ones that start off as a rental.
Okay.
And then I get them in a rental property for a year, and then the next year they end up buying.
Okay.
Right? So I just keep in touch and say, hey, it's all right, take this time to rent, get your credit up, and things like that. So buying a home in PG County is just buying a home, period.
Okay.
It could take a little bit of time.
Okay.
But I tell my clients, you got to have a plan of action.
Okay.
They got to have a plan of action
Right.
and look at your finances. But it's really not that hard to buy a home.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, it comes down to your credit,
have
income,
good credit, income,
and you do your taxes.
and also want to have a desire to want to be a homeowner.
Yeah,
Because what
yeah.
we're hearing now that a lot of millennials are more so. It's interesting that you mentioned rental. They would prefer to continue just renting.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So what do you say to those millennials, those couples that are on the fence of it's easier to rent? You know, we don't have to rebuild or remodel the house when something breaks down. It's just easier just to stay a rental property versus now it's like, come on, it's time for you to buy.
Right.
What do you say to those millennial couples?
People, I always tell them, what is your long-term goals?
Okay.
Because real estate is a long-term game.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
It's not something that if you looking to just stay in the city for 1 year, okay, yeah, it doesn't make sense to buy a property, right?
Okay.
So I tell my clients, what is your long-term goal?
Okay.
If you feel like you want to stay in this city for even 3 years, 4 years,
right,
you might want to consider buying, because you could take that money, build the equity in it, and take that money once you sell the house or rent it. There's plenty of ways to, you know, maneuver around.
Right, exactly.
When you own a home. Now, truth be told, renting right now is a little bit cheaper than owning right now.
Right, exactly. And
so people are looking at that.
Okay.
But for the long term, though, you can rent a property for the next 5 years, but when you leave, you're not getting nothing.
Okay.
But if you own a home, I could sell it, I could rent it out.
Right.
I could still make money off the property.
Exactly.
And things like that. So it's based on the person's long-term goals.
Okay.
Right. And you have some people just want to, it's hard to kind of make the house your own when you're renting.
Exactly.
You know, if you want to knock a wall down, for example, you can't really do
right.
it.
Right. You know,
you want to make an extra bedroom.
Or add on a deck.
Or even change a carpet. I know people like, oh, I really wish I could change this carpet.
Right.
But they don't own it, so.
Right, convert a room into a garage or, you know, or movie theater, things of that nature. They're not able to do that. But it's interesting when they're saying the millennials, or they don't have that same traditional marriage. They don't even want to get into the traditional marriage, let alone home ownership. So they're saying right now in America, the problem is more houses than people wanting to buy a house. So how do you go about engaging and finding those couples or people that want to buy a second location or something?
So I do a lot of ads.
Okay.
And then I also talk to a lot of people too.
Okay.
Like my past clients and things like that. And I just love working with families. Okay. Like families that, you know, married couples with kids. I'm a family man.
Yeah.
And so I love working with families. And I think those people, they kind of last, because you want to create memories in the home. You know, when I think about houses, I think about, you know, my grandmother's house, how you grew up.
Oh my God.
So you got memories, right?
Memories in the kitchen, just in the kitchen cooking, right. Good food,
So that's why I think about home ownership. I just think about good family memories and
absolutely.
And, you know, and so that's the thing that's missing.
Yes.
With home ownership now, and you know, you're young, you
building
know, Gen Zs
and
millennials coming in and want to own a home. They have to think about, all right, is this home gonna be for a family, or is this gonna be for me?
Or investment?
Yeah,
or
investment, or whatever. So I think if people just take the time, like I said, just sit down, take your time, sit down, and really plan out your life for the next 3 to 5 years.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons, right.
You mentioned family. Because you and I have done a one-on-one conversation. When you hear the word family, life, and balance, and you're always like, I'm family. I'm going to the pool this weekend with my family. I'm trying to talk to you on the phone about something. I was like, okay, family comes first. Yeah, go ahead. What makes that important for you with that family life balance? Because especially as a realtor, you guys grind. It's a lot of grinding. What makes you stop and make sure the importance of family?
Well, the biggest thing is you can't get back as time, right?
Yes.
So every year, I even tell my kids, I say, hey, you know, we're gonna do this thing this year or during this time, because once this time passes, you're not gonna be 13 again. True. You're not gonna be 8 again. Yes. So all these things we're doing is to create memories, and that's the thing I'm focused on now. Really, with my family is just carving out the time. Honestly, it's hard to have work-life balance because at the end you want to still, you know, elevate and continue to grow, not in your business but in health and other areas. So you got to take that time out to go to the gym and things like that. So it's hard to have that 100% balance. But if everyone in the household is understanding, okay, you have to do this to give up this.
Do you have family meetings, like sit down?
Yeah, we do.
Sit down at the dining room table and like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, we were kids, it was like chores, but
Yeah.
now they're saying families need to sit down and like really
Yeah.
look at the budget books.
A lot of them don't even sit down for dinner and
No.
have a conversation.
Or they're on the cell phones
Yeah.
or something, yeah.
And
Yeah.
we still have family dinners, and that's the best time we have fun because we
Awesome.
laugh and we joke with each other.
Uh-huh.
The kids, they
Yeah.
think they know everything. So, so we have conversations like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, family is a big deal.
Family is everything.
Wanda Porter with Homes of Color here at the 2025 Las Vegas Market. Join me. Come on in. Let's take a look. Hi, this is Wanda here with Homes of Color at the Las Vegas 2025 Expo. And I'm at the booth of Maro, who is from Ghana, and he's going to share with us about his business and his wonderful items that he has here. So can you share about some of the beads, where they're from, and some of your baskets and items that you have?
All the baskets and the beads from Ghana, and some of the things from those from Cameroon, Nigeria, so West Africa.
West Africa.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right, thank you.
And did you make any of them yourself?
Yeah, I do, but not all of them.
Okay, beautiful. What are some of the stones and things made of?
What?
Some of your stones and beads, like what materials are they made
Yeah,
of?
that's stones and glass and jewelry and brass and stuff like that.
Beautiful, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's take a look over here.
Welcome to the Lady Nighthawk Show, where we talk about interesting things and we honor different people. And tonight I want to give honor to a very good friend of mine that has been in the military service since we had that big parade, you know, with the military, and then it's 4th of July. And my spirit said that I needed to bring him on the show so that I could give him honor, because he has been here and, you know, he's brought people here to the show. He's been hanging in there with me for years. And I just want you to say, Sergeant Jonathan H. Kirby, PhD doctor, I'd like to salute you, okay? I know when I used to do, you know how they used to have us, I don't know about you because I'm older than you are, we would have to take the flag down at nighttime and stuff at the schools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, they did a little thing, and you did salute. I mean, you know, and then, you know, they had the little programs where you would, like, I forgot what you even call them now, you know.
So you pledge of allegiance?
Yeah, and this stuff. And so, we had to salute when we took the flag down, and then we had to fold it and all that other stuff, you know. But then as we got older, somebody said to one of the people that was on television, it must have been a show I was watching. It wasn't real life, it was a show, and the person was on the stage with the rest of the military, and they saluted, and the one that was sitting down in the audience said, he wasn't supposed to be saluting because he wasn't in the military. That's how you little hater. So the man, it was a story, and so the man sitting next to her says, well, he's up there with everybody else, he can do that, but he's supposed to put his hand over his chest. Look, he's up there with all them other people, he can salute, you know. I said, wow, okay. Because I know, like, programs in school, they used to have those programs that try to, I guess they were trying to give young people an idea of how to be in service with those after-school programs, you know, making sure that the flag, it might not seem like it was much, but it was a great honor to be on that flag control.
You know how I got in the military?
Mm.
I was young, watching Shirley Temple, and she was in a military school. So I asked my mother, in which I disobeyed her because I wasn't supposed to watch television. And I watched it, turned the TV off before she got home, and I saw her in a military school, and I asked my mother, was it possible for a young kid to be in military school?
You sound like me.
And Lord and behold, I ended up in military school down in Fort Union Military Academy.
Okay. I didn't go to military school, but I went to Catholic school.
Yeah,
that's where I wanted to go.
Almost.
Yeah.
And they were a Baptist school, and you know, the #1 prep military school in the world, if not, you know, all the big folks' sons and, you know, sons went there, and I was amongst them. So, and I'm a graduate too. Matter of fact, I'm the 5th
generation.
The 5th person, black person to graduate from that school.
Get out of here. Even today?
Even today.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Kirby, okay, I'd like to say, and I'd like to tell you that even though we haven't seen him in a minute, he's done a lot of things. He is now Dr. Jonathan H. Kirby, PhD. He also received both of us at the same time received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Biden. Which was an honor. It's one of the hardest honors that you can get, and thank you. And I'd like to, his shirt that he has on today represents, if you could get a tight shot of that shirt for me, it says United States. It doesn't say United States on it, but it says Marines, and that's a branch of service that he served, and it's a nice shirt, not just being representative of your branch of service. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you know, so it's, and to do the things that you do and the things that I do, I mean, you know, people do things for different reasons, you know, but ours always is because of the Lord. I mean, no matter what we do, the Lord got a hand in it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But it's so much work out there in the vineyard that he assigns us to that, guys, when he calls on you and he asks you to do something, you need to be obedient. He said obedience is better than sacrifice, okay? So you need to be obedient in what you do. But I commend you for during this time that you have not been just still. You're still the same old Jonathan that I knew, that I met, and you're still doing those same old things, okay? And, you know, and you also take judo. You're a judo assistant. Yeah. Let's tell us about that.
Well, the VA had a judo program, and I always wanted to do judo. And I did karate, I did kung fu, I did jiu-jitsu, I did tai chi. You know, those are the arts that I participated in, but judo is a little bit different. and it's good, and it's very disciplined. Even though all the rest of them are disciplined, but judo is special. So the team that I have, and I have to say the team because we all a team, it's a team that the VA let us have inside their facility, and it's called, oh boy, forget.
It's okay. But it's over at the VA.
Yeah, it's at the VA, and we have Olympic gold medalists and people instructors that actually help us out, and had the first medalist of judo in the Olympics, Mr. Jim Bergman. He actually awarded me my blue belt in judo. And that's when I was in the hospital. I mean, everything was going crazy.
I remember that because we had pictures of you in the hospital, and they presented you the award. I don't know whether you brought them on or whether Max brought them on, but
Max.
We had,
Max.
He actually honored you that day because he was so proud that you had gotten, you know, your blue belt, and he brought the pictures, and we had those pictures on the screen, and we talked because we thought both of y'all were coming on that day, and he made sure that he let us see what you were doing, and you know how you were an assistant, and you got your blue belt, and he said you was working on your black belt, and you know, and I was saying, oh,
brown belt.
Brown belt. I'm sorry, you was working on your brown belt, and he's so proud of you. That's one man that I know that he is so proud of you, and when he talks about you, you can feel the love come out of his mouth, and his wife. Both
my
of them.
My mother called them angels.
Yeah,
that's what she called them.
Yeah, because and his wife. You know, when they both of you, when both of them talk about you, you could just feel the love just pouring out their heart and out their mouth. You know, and accomplishments that you've made on your own as well as helping others. And I think that that's what the blessing is, that you came through and you didn't just stop there. You made sure that you could also help others, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just
the fun part. That's the fun part. Because I like to see their expression knowing that somebody care. So that's what I get a rush out of. I mean, despite of all the accolades, you know, just to see the other people and their faces, including you, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing because, I mean, he even showed some people that weren't expecting to be able to get any of their, you know, movement and things back. And y'all have a special judo class or something that the veterans go to, right?
Right.
And y'all have had greater accomplishments out of that class.
It's called adaptive judo.
Okay.
Adaptive judo.
Yeah, and at that particular time, I think that some foreign person was coming to acknowledge y'all.
Yeah, we have people all over the judo world, referees that ref hundreds of people, and